Hi guys, my name is Niyati and welcome to this video. I'm a tutor here on Chegg Tutors and I mostly tutor biology and medicine related topics, and today we're going to be learning a little bit about the types of gene action. So let's get started. Right here we have a couple of definitions that I'm going to tell you about. These ones you see in the corner here, and we're also going to learn about what a gene is and what an allele is. So a gene is basically a small little section of the DNA that codes for a particular protein. It is kind of like what gives the general instructions to a cell, whereas an allele is a specific version of a gene. And we get one allele from our mom and one allele from our dad. As you know, we have pairs of chromosomes, 23 to be specific, and out of each pair we get one from our mom and one from our dad. So we have versions of the genes, and the different versions of the genes are called alleles. The genes are more general instructions to the cell, kind of, and the alleles are more specific. So you can think of it like if you have a gene for a blood group, then the alleles for blood group will be A, B, and O that give you the different blood groups. So if you have, say, a gene for, in case of a flower, you have a gene for petal colors of the petals. So the alleles for those genes will be, say, coding for specifically red petals or pink petals, and so on and so forth. So you can think of it like a gene kind of gives the cell general instructions, like it tells the cell to paint, for example, and the allele will tell the cell specifically how to paint and what color to paint. So that's kind of the difference between a gene and an allele. So as you can see, it's written right here, you get one maternal allele and one paternal allele of the genes. So alleles are basically versions of the genes. So you can see right here in the corner, I have a couple of words written down, and we're going to go over the definitions of what these mean. So in order to do that, I'm going to draw this little picture here. So let's take an example for the gene for a blood group. So the alleles are A, B, and O, which are the different versions of the gene for a blood group. So we get one allele from our mom and one allele from our dad. So let's say in this example, the orange one is the one that you get from your mom, and the white one is the one that the person gets from their dad. So in these two individuals here, in this red guy here and this blue girl here, you have this person has a B from their mom and a B from their dad. This blue person here has a B from their mom and an O from their dad. So as you can see here, this red person has two B's. Both of these genes, or rather both of these alleles of the gene are the same. So this guy has a homozygous genotype. Homo means same. So this means that this guy has the two alleles of the gene are the same from both parents. So this guy is homozygous for the B allele. This guy has B from their mom and O from their dad. So this person has two different alleles of the blood group gene. So this blue person over here is heterozygous for this blood group. So this BB and this BO, which is the genetic makeup, is known as the genotype. The different combinations of the alleles that a person has inherited from his or her parents is known as a genotype. And then, based on the genotype, you get the outcome or the physical outward manifestations of that genotype, which is called a phenotype. In this case, the phenotype is going to be what blood group the person is. Now, in this situation, both of these people, the red guy and the blue person here, both of them are going to have a blood type of B, because the B allele is dominant over the O allele, which means that whenever there's two different alleles, and if one of them is O, then the other one is always going to win, or it's always going to mask the effect of the recessive allele. So in this situation, the B is dominant and the O is recessive. So this person is going to have a B-type blood group. And this person is also going to have a B-type blood group because both his alleles are coding for B-type of blood group. So over here, as you can see, I've written the blood type B is what's going to be the phenotype of this genotype. So one thing that you should notice here is that even though these two people have different genotypes, you can still have the same phenotype. So both these people have the same blood group, even though this guy is BB and this guy is BO. So that's because of the dominant and recessive characteristics. Let's move on. This is just an example I took here so we can see the different combinations. So say we have two parents, a mom and a dad, and both of them have type A blood group. So let's just say this mother has, I'm going to type this here, A and A. And let's say the dad has big A and big A. So as you can see, the dad is homozygous for the A blood group, and the mom is heterozygous for the A blood group. I'm sorry, I wrote A. I meant to write O. So let's make that O. So now, let's see the different combinations that we can get for these 4 offspring. So this person is going to have, this is going to be homozygous. This next person is going to be heterozygous because he's getting the A allele from his dad and the O allele from his mom. This next person right here is going to be homozygous again because he's getting the A allele from both parents. And now this last person right here is going to be heterozygous again. So AO. Now, one thing to remember is that AO and OA are both the same thing. In both cases, the A is going to be dominant over the O, or if it's B, then the B is going to be dominant over the O. So in this situation, you have 2 of the children out of 4 having blood type, having genotype AA, and 2 of them having genotype AO. But all of them are still going to have the blood group of A. But 2 of them, these 2, are going to be homozygous for A, and these 2, AO, are going to be heterozygous for A. But all of them are still going to be having the A-type blood group. So now let's look at another example going on to the different types of dominance. So let's say that these are 2 dogs and they have the genes coding for the color of the fur in these dogs. Let's say the allele of the gene B, the black B, codes for black fur, and the white B of the gene codes for white fur in case of fur color for the dogs, and assuming that the black B is dominant over the white B. So let's look at what happens. So in this case, so in complete dominance, assuming that the dog has 2 B alleles. So as you can imagine, the fur color for the dog is going to be black in all 3 cases because the black B codes for black fur. Similarly, if the dog inherits 2 white B alleles from his parents, then that dog, as you can imagine, is going to have white fur in all 3 instances of complete dominance, codominance, and incomplete dominance. So these are the 3 different types of dominance I want to explain to you. Now, when the dog is homozygous for the black allele or the white allele, you can see that in all 3 cases the fur color is black or it's white. The difference comes now when the dog is heterozygous for the fur color genes. So in the last situation, as you can see, the dog is heterozygous. He's getting 1 black B and 1 white B. So this is where the difference comes in. Now, like we said, if we assume that the black B is dominant over the white B, if you're considering complete dominance, then the dog is going to be black because the black B is covering over the effect of the white B, so the dog is going to have black fur and not white fur. So that's what's happening here in case of complete dominance. You see this little black dog right here. The next example is codominance. So if a dog is heterozygous for the black allele and the white fur coat allele, the meaning of codominance means that both those genes are equally dominant. So in the phenotype, in the physical manifestation of this dog, you are going to see fur colors of both these genes. So you're going to see a little bit of black fur and you're going to see a little bit of white fur. So this dog is going to have patches of black and white fur. as you can see in this picture right here. This dog has black and white fur. In the last case, in incomplete dominance, when the dog is heterozygous for the fur color gene of black and white, you get manifestations of a mixture of both these genes. So when you say incomplete dominance, it means that even though the black B allele is dominant over the white B allele, it is not completely masking its effect. You still get some effect of the white B allele still kind of creeps in there, which means you get effects of the black gene and a little bit of the white gene, which makes the dog get a gray fur color, because black and white makes like a gray color. So in this situation, you get a gray dog whose fur manifestations is a mixture of the effects of both these alleles. So that's the difference between complete dominance, codominance, and incomplete dominance. As you can see, the difference mostly comes around when you're looking at heterozygous genotypes, such as in this last case where you have one allele is the black one and one allele is the white one. So I hope this helped. I hope that kind of covered the basic difference between the types of inheritance, dominant, recessive, and so on. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. My link to my Chegg Tutor profile is down below. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on there. I hope this video helped, and thanks for watching, and have an excellent rest of the day. Bye!